Good morning, guys. You join me on a beautiful sunny morning. 15 degrees out. It's kind of cool. It's going to be one of those days where it feels like the beginning of fall, my favorite time of year. And I'm out here sweeping the new pavement. Well, it's a year old and it's pretty much just cured now. So I'm out here with the broom and I've got all these little loose stones on here and I'm doing a bit of manual labor this morning. Why? Because it's good for me, and I like to meditate when I'm doing stuff like this, and it's like going for a good long walk. You get all your thoughts in order and in line, and you work out all your problems, and I do the same thing while I'm just sweeping away here on the garage. I want to do a Transcending video with you guys. I've picked up some new cool books. I've got a lot of thoughts as I'm staring down the barrel of 50 this year, right? Not until next May, but I'm 49, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. It doesn't bother me one bit, to be 50. I'm actually quite proud of the life I've lived to this point, but I'm really starting to focus down on the 30-year number where I say, I've got 30 great years left of adventuring and enjoying life and probably good health. Maybe longer, right? Technology, the way things are going, maybe they'll just put my head in a jar and I'll live to 150. Who knows? But these are the things I'm thinking about, and I want to do a Transcending video, so come and join me. There is something very satisfying about this. So I hope you guys can see all the stones here that I'm sweeping. All kinds of stuff. I'm sweeping this across. And what's happening is this pavement has been curing for the last year. And when we get big trucks come in here, the Amazon guy or any delivery guys, this is what their tires are doing. Every time they turn around, they're leaving these marks because they're turning the wheels. They're cranking the wheel while they're sitting in place with a 15-ton truck, and it's digging into my pavement. So I've literally got 30 of these spots where they're turning around. So what I want to do is sweep this all nice and flat, and I'm going to actually have the sealing guy come and put a new layer of sealant on here. And I figure if I do that every year, then that will stop these little bits that they're tearing off. The pavement won't get worn down. Yeah, it's going to probably cost $300 or $400 to reseal this, to have the guy come and do it. He comes and does all the neighbors, so we can get a little bit of a deal there. But I think it's worth it because every year they are tearing down, a few millimeters of this. These big trucks coming in here and turning around. They know, hey, Gary keeps his driveway plowed all winter, and they're in here all year round because they know there's a big space for them to turn around. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I know I did just say like a cool fall morning, so I'll point out what I see here, but shh, we won't tell my wife because she doesn't like it when I point this out. Look at that, the first fall colors. We're in early September and the trees are already starting to turn. I better go snap that branch off before my wife sees that, or she'll have a conniption, some kind of mental breakdown. She doesn't like the end of summer. All right, guys, I'm up on the deck. Gonna take a little break here from sweeping. And I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the last book that I just finished, which was Your Destiny Switch by Peggy McColl. And there were a lot of great concepts in that book. It did take me a long time to read. It's like she's compartmentalizing your feelings, and that you have to be aware constantly of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and you have a switch for each of these feelings, right? If you have an emotion, there is an equal and opposite emotion. So if you're feeling happy, angry would be the opposite. And where are you on that switch? Are you happier today? Are you sadder? Are you angry? Or, and you list up all your emotions, and then she gets you to go through this whole practice. That part's not for me. Being aware of your emotions is for me, but setting up that practice, not my thing, but it might work for you guys. What I found even more intriguing in this book, like many of the others that I've read, is that she talks about sending your thoughts out to the universe and expecting your wishes and desires to be answered. Very reminiscent of the Deepak Chopra series that I read, different books that he talks about. There is something to this, guys. As I've talked about, before, I feel that after 40, you become in touch with these things. If you stop and settle your mind and listen, you can connect to something greater. And she talks about this over and over and over in that book. So now also the other day I had to go down and take the truck down and get the tonneau cover put on it. And while I was there, I went to the bookstore and I found 3 new books, and I couldn't decide which one to read. So I'm actually reading all 3 at the same time. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He was on Oprah many times back in the day. This book is, probably early 2000s, something like that, mid 90s. Very cool. He begins the book by telling you that he went to that place that I just talked about, where he connected to something on the other side, and he was given answers and a freedom of letting go of everything from here. He basically was suicidal at the time that this happened to himself. He said, I cannot live with myself any longer. And that thought right there spurred him to think, well then, what am I talking about? Is there more than just me? If I can't live with myself, there must be 2 of me. And he went into this deep, ongoing process. And I'm only the first chapter into the book. Okay, so we're reading that one. And then we're also reading Gary Zukav, very famous book, The Seat of the Soul. And again, he talks about something greater and grander than what our 5 senses can see, feel, taste. There is more. Okay, and I'm only just in the intro on this book, but we're going to read that one as well. And then the third book I found, our old friend Dr. Scott Peck, who wrote The Road Less Traveled, one of my favorite series, has a book, People of the Lie. And he starts this book by saying, this is a dangerous book. And it basically teaches you how to read and see and understand the motives of people who are not honest, manipulators, narcissists, and that you may find these traits in yourself, because we all have good and bad traits. So again, I'm only in the intro in this one, but 3 awesome reads. And I'm really, as I settle into fall, and then I know winter's slow, I'm going to have a lot more time to read. So we're going to cover those 3 books. We've got the ongoing problem of the Mitsubishi, which is not resolved. The 9-month problem of the hot tub, which hopefully today is getting resolved. Then we have the new garage build and reno to my existing garage. And this whole back deck is being redone. New gazebo, new decking, new stairs, new garden. Huge job back here as well. We're still in the permitting process there, so all that is ongoing. So my mind has been very busy, and I haven't been in a settled place. But just stopping to purchase these 3 books kind of, made me focus in on what I want to do, and that's concentrate on being the better me. And I've been thinking a lot about, as I said, coming up on 50 and the things I've achieved and accomplished. And some of the things at the time when you achieve them, you think these are great goals, but you look back 20 years later and you say, maybe that it didn't matter so much. There are more important things, the smaller things. A smile to your neighbor, helping your neighbor. And now I find I am wasting a lot of energy and time. Neil, who watches all the time, will tell you Gary's not settled. I'm wasting a lot of time fighting with this Mitsubishi. And I think it's baby steps for me, and purchasing the new truck and just saying I'm slowly letting go. I'm not a perfect guru. I'm not a perfect meditator. I try to meditate every day a little bit. And what I want you guys to concentrate on and really think about is goals. That's what I'm realizing here at 50, is I've kind of been floating for the last 7-8 years, right? I haven't had any great goals or things that I want to achieve, and I think we always need to have that. And it doesn't have to be something that is monetary or job related. I'm in a different place now, and I'm thinking, what can I do to further other people? And that's why I do this series. My thoughts and process on what makes me a better human, I try to share with you guys. Cool books and things that I find that can make you a better human, I like to share in this series. Just the openness to be aware of all the things going on. And what I want to talk about and hopefully find in these books that I picked here is that there is a place we can go and you can touch something and be a part of something grander. And I know I've been there twice. I've told you guys in dreams I went and I knew things I shouldn't know. I asked questions, they were answered. I cannot remember the answers. This was while I was having a real low period of questioning, what is my purpose? And I still question what my purpose is, even though they've told me many times. It's just to be here to enjoy to adventure, to experience, and to share as much as I can with other people. It's that simple, right? To be here for my wife, they told me, in that dream where I was with my grandparents. And it was, guys, I had a feeling that filled me, an energy that filled me. And when I woke up, I cried like a baby. I was crying when I woke up. My wife's like, what's wrong with you? I was in that place, and I've only been there twice. I don't know how to get back, but these books, they talk about these guys going to that same place. It's a real place. It exists. This state of here where I am, Grant and I talked yesterday. I said, I know I'm real. My perspective is me. I can't see anyone else's perspective. And you have to ask the question, are all of these other people that are here, are they real, or are they part of my constraint, part of my build? Did I create all of this and them? And so Grant and I are doing a little experiment right now. We're twins. And he said that he's putting something out to the universe that he wants. And I'm putting out something to the universe that I want. I'll tell you what I want. And that is a sense of purpose with goals that I feel that I can share my spirituality with as many people as I can. That's my goal. And I want to do that in a bigger capacity. So I'm putting that out. How can I do that? How can I experience more? How can I share more? And I won't tell you what Grant's is because it's his personal thing. And but we both decided, I said, if Grant is real and here, he needs to put that out to the universe himself, and he's going to do that. But then I said, we don't know. I don't know if he's here and real or part of my construct. So I need to put that out to the universe for him as well, just in case I have created him. Correct? It's deep stuff, right? We had this really deep conversation. Very interesting stuff. So for the next month, he's going to put out his desire and wish and plan to the universe. And he's also going to put out my desire and wish and plan to the universe for me. And I'm going to do the same with mine and with his. And we'll get back to you guys in the next month and a half, 2 months here, and see if we've made any progress. And on that note, I'll give you an example of the universe listening and little things coming into fruition that we're not expecting. One of my longtime dreams for 20 years now has been to play baseball with my daughter. We used to take my daughter in her seat. I guess it was a car seat that we could unhook and carry with us. And she was that little, 6 months old, a year old, to our baseball games. And our baseball team was fantastic. And she was like our little mascot. They would take care of her while Carrie and I were out in the field or while we were batting. And everybody on the team, kind of adopted Hannah as the baseball kid. And so for 20 years, Hannah and I have never played together. I asked her a couple years ago to play on my team. She couldn't find the time. She played her own ball at the time. She played U17, 18. So Hannah does play ball. Now she's off to university. Well, I thought that dream was gone because Carrie and I did not play ball this summer. And Hannah's gone to university. Kaylee has never played baseball. It's not her sport. She does volleyball and swimming. So I'm at the masseuse the other day. Zoe is my masseuse. She's young. She's 22. And she's going on about, oh, I'm on a baseball team that I don't like. And I'm kind of half listening. By the third time she told me, she said, I'm putting in a new baseball team next year, and we're going into a lower division so we can just play and have fun. It was like a light bulb moment. Something went off in my head. I knew the universe was talking to me. Hey, she's mentioned this 3 times now. Respond. And I just knew it was one of the things. I'm like, Zoe, if you're looking for players, I will talk to my wife and my 2 girls, and let's see if they want to play. And next summer, we could achieve this goal that I've had for 20 years of all of us playing ball together. My wife and I played together for 20-some years, so we're not new to this. We're old. Our team actually asked us just to spare last year because of my injuries and her work schedule. My wife didn't like that. She said, we're not spares. And she quit. She sent them an email back saying, we're not playing. And I was upset because I'm like, I didn't get a choice. I would have spared. I wasn't done. So this is the opportunity. And Zoe said, awesome. I came home and talked to the girls. They all agreed they want to play. So the 4 of us are going to end up playing softball together next year. Just a little tiny thing, right? But the universe dropped this in my lap. And this is just one example, guys. So moving forward, I am opening up to looking for little signs that the universe is listening to this idea, this dream that I'm projecting out about my purpose and Grant's. We're both going to be looking, and that's what I want you guys to concentrate on, is having a goal and sending something out to the universe and believing it. If you read the Peggy McCall book, Your Destiny Switch, a huge part of what she says over and over and over is talk to the universe, talk to God, talk to the greater power, talk to your inner self. But you have to believe in it. And it's not just these billion-dollar gurus that are, selling their books and holding these seminars that are telling us, guys, I feel that there is a truth to what they're saying. Many other people do too. And many of them are good people who are just trying to share their experience. These guys, for example, this guy, Gary Zukav, who wrote this book, he lived in the woods and didn't have a TV and didn't associate with people. And eventually Oprah got him out of the mountains and onto her show, and his life completely changed from there. And he went on talking to people. But he wrote this in seclusion. Okay, so he's another one of these guys that this wasn't his plan to become a millionaire off of telling people what he had found and his practices. That happened, but there was more to him. And we're going to explore these 3 books going forward. So, guys, I just wanted to say, concentrate on the positive, the happiness, what you're creating, what you're putting out. And I believe that because of the Mitsubishi, I've been putting out a little bit too much negative energy out there. And then I've had other issues because of it. The hot tub, my septic system failed. And we went through a whole thing here 2 weeks. Every day I had to go out and plug the pump in manually so that the kids could have a shower at the end of the day. And I'm thinking, gee, what would this have been like 100 years ago, right? We would have been down at the creek showering and shampooing. So I'm still grateful that I have a septic system. I was upset that it stopped working and it's going to cost me $1,000 to fix it. But in the long term of things, you always need to look at the positive. Just another little example of there's always a positive side to everything negative that happens. And moving forward, I want to get this series back up and going, maybe with a little more focus per episode. And the focus this time is I'm just telling you about the cool books I found and how the universe dropped something in my lap that I was wanting, didn't think I was going to find. A synchronicity, I guess we could say, this baseball team. And just to be aware to your surroundings all the time, guys, because that's happening to you as well as me all the time. We just have to be open to seeing it and receiving the message. So thanks for watching and listening, guys. And share some comments. If something has happened to you in your life that you know was a greater power, a universe, your soul team, somebody giving something back to you, leave a cool comment below because I know it's happening to all of us. Thanks for watching, guys.